Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe, and everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Keep in mind that tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule, so it is a good idea to have an empty cup when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up, okay? The first card that we have here is Miss Robinson's Bristol's funeral home, okay? Miss Robinson's Bristol funeral home. So as I hold this card here, Miss Robinson's Bristol funeral home here, let's get the book and let's see, what does this card stand for? Okay, 1 second, collective. 65. Okay. Miss Robinson, okay? Okay. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over waters. Genesis 1, verse 2. Okay. The image of Miss Robinson is proudly displaying a funeral program of Reginald Patrick. Miss Robinson was a hoodoo from Orangeburg, South Carolina. According to the people in her small town, she was a sweet, law-abiding woman, unless someone crossed her. Okay. One day after church, Miss Robinson saw a few parishioners gathering around a woman named Miss Patrick. As Miss Patrick Robinson walked by, Miss Patrick said loudly that she didn't believe root workers should be welcome in the church and that it was a bunch of made-up nonsense. Miss Robinson tried her best to ignore her until she noticed people started treating her differently. They were making up excuses for why she couldn't visit the church. Her clients started canceling appointments. It turned out that Miss Patrick was trying her best to destroy Miss Robinson's entire life, even though she hardly even knew Miss Robinson. So Miss Patrick was passing judgment on Miss Robinson, even though she did not even know her personally. Okay, and also collaborated with church members to make Miss Robinson feel as if she was not wanted into the community church. Miss Robinson finally approached Miss Patrick after church and told her to never speak ill about her again, or she would be sorry. Miss Patrick laughed and elbowed her cronies and said that would never happen. So she might as well go ahead and root her on then, okay? So she basically fronted her off and let her know, hey, keep your name out of my mouth. I know about your judgment, but you need not to speak on me, okay? Miss Robinson told her that she was made for root working and that if she couldn't have what she loved the most, then neither would she. Miss Patrick howled with laughter and laughed away with the older ladies, leaving Miss Robinson standing there furious. 29 days later, Miss Patrick's 9-year-old son, Reginald, died unexpectedly after having a cold. Everyone knew that Reginald was Miss Patrick's pride and joy. Not only was he her only child, she also couldn't have any more. So she was absolutely devastated by the loss. As the mourners filled the funeral home, Miss Robinson was seen smiling. Miss Robinson was seen smiling, okay, as she fanned herself with a memorial program from across the road. Miss Patrick, now totally broken, moved out of town the following day, okay? So basically, this card here is depicting someone who was possibly judged in a community, possibly known for doing hoodoo work in their time, okay? And had judgment passed upon them possibly a community turning against them for one reason or another. But in this story, this short meaning and brief story of this depiction of this card here, it's also showing that there was a loss of Miss Patrick's son, but just because he had transitioned, there was no evidence that Miss Robinson was at fault. So as I hold this card of Miss Robinson here, and she has a program of the funeral, it looks like evidently she attended that funeral. And just because she smiled does not necessarily mean, collective, that she is guilty of maybe doing any kind of hoodoo work or any kind of spiritual riches or black magic to assist in the demise or the unaliving of the child that has passed on. So as I hold this card, this is the energy of someone who could possibly be seen as being someone who is unorthodox. You could be someone who has a spiritual practice. You could be someone who does tarot, or you could do something that you are the first in your family to partake in. And if it isn't spirituality or if it isn't divination, this could be a career. Maybe you are into adult entertainment. Okay. This could be a career choice. Okay. There is some kind of skill, hobby, or career or choice that you have made in your life, and you could be often being criticized for your choices. Okay. But once again, in the story that I just shared with you, though, Miss Robinson is a hoodoo practitioner, the story gave no evidence that she was responsible for the unaliving of the child. She was not responsible, nor did she commit any kind of ritualistic practice that stated that she was responsible for this child transitioning. So I'm also getting, you could be someone who has been falsely accused of a lot of things in your life, possibly currently, possibly as a small child in your upbringing. Maybe you had a lot of weird experiences with people, relationships, family members, friends, people in the community, or maybe even in a church setting. Maybe people always made you feel like you weren't part of their group, or tried to give you some kind of feeling as if you don't fit in or you're not accepted. And maybe it's because you do have a different belief system. Maybe you are someone who is very unique. We all are uniquely, individually, divinely created. And so I'm picking up on the energy of someone who walks in their truth, and you do it wholeheartedly, and you're grateful for who you are, meaning you make no apologies about who you are. Very outspoken, down to earth. And when people meet you, they either love you or they either hate you. And so Spirit is saying those who may meet you but really don't know you, and this is like meeting you for the first time, who choose to have some kind of hatred or disdain for you, these are people who merely just feel intimidated by your presence. Because how could you choose to have some kind of judgment of someone you don't know? And so it's about your energy, it's about your aura, it's about who you are. Not only is the demonstration of how you carry your life for people. For people that know you and they know how you carry yourself, you are a true demonstration, and you are a true example, collective, whomever you are, of standing in your authenticity, what it looks like to be real, what it looks like to walk in your purpose, what it looks like to be confident and not care about the opinions of naysayers. And so I'm speaking to a group of people who have that leadership mentality. And when I say leadership, this is not with arrogance, this is with confidence. And confidence is necessary to live everyday life. And so there's something that you are partaking in. It could be a skill, a hobby, your career. This could be how you dress, how you talk, your wisdom, your knowledge when you communicate. You give off the energy where people become very intimidated by your mere presence or your existence. So that's what that energy is depicting here with Miss Robinson here. So you could be someone who's undergone a whole lot of ridicule, a whole lot of misjudgment. I'm picking up false accusations, maybe people accusing you of things that you are not guilty of. And also, just as they have no proof that Miss Robinson took part in this child's passing, people could have accused you of things that they have no proof of. This could be something that you have learned to just like not let it bring you down. You've learned to just, hey, let it be, let people believe what they want, let them think what they want. You have chosen to move forward, and move on and live forward. Okay. And so we have the mother of sticks here. And so you've chosen, and the feathers up on the crown there. So you've chosen to be your own warrior and fight your own war, because it looks like you've come to a conclusion, collective, whomever you are, male or female, that in order for you to live a happy life, that you're going to have to be confident within yourself. You could often go into reflection, as I stated at the beginning, about how much pain you have endured for being falsely accused, for being misjudged, from people trying to make you feel like you don't fit in, you're not good enough, etc., etc. So you have chosen. It's like you have had a point in your life where you have chosen to make that executive decision to say, you know what? I may not have had, proper parenting growing up, but I'm choosing to and you can do that. There are people who are adults who have chosen through their healing journey to reparent themselves, meaning just because you did not learn a particular skill or certain ways about life and how to be resilient and things about survival, this could be anything. There are people who go on a healing journey and they learn to reparent themselves. You can do that as an adult, and it's very helpful as well. Okay. And so the mother of sticks here, well, let me hold it up while I read this to you. Okay. So we have the mother of sticks here is shown with a crown of tobacco leaves. Okay. All right. That is reminiscent of the early colonial era, Black Virginian advertisement. She's wearing a tartan fastened with a goosefoot brooch as good luck charm. The mother of sticks pipe is lit with a kite. There are 5 types of kites living in the southern United States. And like the mother of sticks, these beautiful raptors are determined to keep moving forward, so much so that they never take a break. They eat, drink, and even bathe in flight. So, this bird here, they eat, drink, and even bathe in flight. They keep moving and moving here. And so, they're a very special creature. Okay. And so, the meaning of the mother of six is the most uplifting in the deck. Okay. On the positive side, she is optimistic, fiery, confident, as I just mentioned. You must be confident, courageous, which is similar to confident, focused, and powerful. Okay. On the negative side, she can be malicious and overbearing and sometimes arrogant or a workaholic. And so, with this card being in the upright, this is an uplifting, positive energy. And as I said, the feather is up, and she is at war, for herself and standing ground for herself. So, male or female, remember, gender is fluid in tarot. You have made a decision and a choice to not allow the negative circumstances that have impacted you to carry out throughout your adulthood or carry out as you move forward. And so people may judge you, once again, the misjudgment, as being arrogant now that you are older, now that time has moved on. And what it is, collective, people are wondering that all that they have thrown in your way, how did you manage to overcome? All that we have done, we have collaborated with other people to pull the collective down. We've tried to sabotage you. We tried to slander your character. We've possibly stolen things from you. We've lied to you and betrayed you. But you've managed to keep rising above. And people want to know, what is it about you? It's because you're spiritually connected, you're spiritually protected, and therefore you cannot be affected. And so there are people trying to figure out your strength and figure out how you were able to be brave and overcome. And these are people who do not even know how to figure out themselves, yet they have not figured out who they are or what their purpose is. But they're very hyper focused on the collective at this time. So congratulations to you for choosing and also acknowledging that, hey, yes, I endured these things. I see What has been done to me, I'm aware of it, but you have chosen not to allow it to succumb you. You have chosen not to allow these things to discourage you. You have overcome some things that many people at this point would have given up by now. So this could be family. I'm picking up a lot of family bloodline energy. People whom you assume were supposed to maybe protect you and support you and assist you, and assist you in enhancing your abilities. Okay, so there's something here about you being gifted. Maybe there's someone in your family who knows how gifted you are. They could be very jealous or envious of this. This could be a parental figure. This could be an uncle or an aunt as well, or as well as a cousin. You could have cousins or siblings who envy who you are, how strong you are. You're very resilient and independent. You have a reputation for this. In each event that you've experienced where people have betrayed you, you constantly rose above. Everyone was watching, and you've chose at an early age to branch off from your family. You started to become distant, and now you are full grown, and it looks like you have made it a permanent decision to keep the ties severed. You're just loving them from a distance, okay? When I say keep the ties severed, I'm speaking of just choosing to love people from a distance. Let them be them over there while you be you over here. So very beautiful. Okay. And so the Ace of Baskets here, this is representing a cleansing taking place. This is representing, a renewal, of all that has been taken from you, the deceitful betrayal behavior, the theft. I'm picking up someone possibly stealing something from you. It could be an inheritance or something someone left you, and maybe you were supposed to get a portion, and there could have been family members or siblings who kept it to themselves or kept the money and spent it, possibly some false documentation work as well. But once again, these are people who have not figured out themselves yet. They have not figured out who they are, and they're very hyperly focused on the collective at this time when they really need to focus on themselves. Okay. And so the best thing is that, like I said, you did not allow this to be your crutch. There are people who experience things and they choose to allow it to be their crutch, but you have not. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. And, as you pass one level, you'll be moved on to another. And it looks like you are leveling up and they're watching that. So they're shocked. But at the same time, and the reason they're shocked is because you're passing the test. You're in your purpose. You're on your path. You're fulfilling your contractual agreement and duties here in this life. Some people get it, some people don't. They have to come and do this all over again on planet Earth. But at this time, on this cycle of your life, on this cycle, because life happens in cycles, you have understood the assignment, point blank, period. And so next card we have is the Father of Baskets here, okay? All right, the Father of Baskets sits on a boat displaying an abundance of fish on a string and a basket full of blue crab. His boat is decorated with tiny mirrors and silver, okay? Either worn on one's person or attached to boats, were believed to bring good luck to the fishermen, okay? The meaning of the Father of the Baskets are the archetype of the nurturing father and provider, okay? On the positive side, he is kind, generous, diplomatic, tolerant, reliable, resourceful, honest, and wise. And on the negative side, he is emotionally manipulative, moody, and self destructive. And so you have chosen to keep things flipped on the good side, Spirit is saying. Flipped on the good side, as I am explaining, and they're having me repeat that you have chosen not to allow these experiences to succumb you. And so you've said to yourself, look, I'm going to flip it on the positive side. I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm choosing not to give up on myself in life, in hope. And I'm trusting that there's a higher power that is working for me. Like I said, I picked up on someone who has to reparent themselves, and that means just because you weren't taught something, you're not in your adulthood going around telling people, oh, I was raised like that. It makes no sense to hang on to excuses and crutches because just because you were raised a particular way does not mean that you did not stop having birthdays. You did not stop having the opportunity to grow, develop into your own, and make some changes. You may not be in agreement of everything you experienced as a child, but as you come into an adult, there are some things that we have free will, freedom of choice to change or either adjust at our own timing, at our own rate. And you have chosen to keep it on the positive side. So this is representing good luck, positive energy, very nurturing and supportive. So you could be a parental figure as well, with this father and this providing, nurturing energy here. You could be a mother, a father as well, and you could be very close knit with your children. So though your parental figure may have been distant towards you, or just mistreated you in some kind of way, you have chosen to break that generational curse, and you're not continuing the cycle. You could have a very loving, nurturing, close knit relationship when it comes to your parenting skills and your abilities. It's not about materialism. It's not about money. It's really not, it's about the quality time that you spend with your child. It's about being supportive. It's about uplifting your child when they need you. It's the little things in between, in my opinion, when it comes to parenting. And so, yeah, you chose to flip it on the positive side, collective. And that's very beautiful, because I picked up earlier, you did have a dysfunctional, very unhealthy connection with your parental figure. And you could have a disconnect with your parents as of currently. You may not even speak to your mother or father, okay? Or maybe one of them has transitioned as well, okay? So, yeah, you may not even have a relationship. And the reason you don't have a relationship with them is because the conditions are not favorable for your well being. It's not conducive to your highest good. So if you chose once again, hey, I'm not going to disrespect you or dishonor you. I'm going to love you from a distance. You be you over there. I'll be me over here. Because if you're breaking generational curses and patterns that are negative, and this is something that your parent didn't give you, that means that that person could not be a healthy grandparent to their grandchild. If they can't correct it with their child, they can't get it right with the grandchild. You have to nip it in the bud. You have to fix the issues that are deep rooted. So wonderful for you, okay? You're not holding on. There are so many, collective. I'm pretty sure you may know some people. If this isn't your story, you may know someone who has experienced this. This could be your spouse, your husband, your wife, or a friend who has experienced this, who has had a very difficult upbringing, I'll just say. Lots of dysfunction, lots of negative impact and experiences. Lots of inappropriate things have taken place, and the parent wasn't there to protect that child or support them. And I'm also picking up, even once you became an adult, maybe you tried to reveal some things to your parental figure that was done, but they were very short with you and standoffish. Spirit is saying that was deliberately. They are aware of what was done, and they could have been possibly afraid of you bringing this up. So they were deliberately rude to you, short with you. Maybe when you talk to them, they act like they had something to do, they're busy, or they got to go. A very anxious, nervous energy. Spirit is saying that was deliberately. So that's for someone, not everyone. Take what resonates. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. But either way, that was done deliberately. They knew that it was a possibility that you would bring it up and you would ask questions. But they chose, to take the actions that they've taken. So now they must live, with the repercussions of that. They were not the supporting, loving parent they were supposed to be. You possibly could have also had a parental figure, male or female, who chose their spouse over you, meaning maybe their spouse was inappropriate with you in one way or another. Okay. Handsy in different ways with you. I like to say handsy. You got to be careful how you say things, but they chose their spouse over you. They chose to protect their spouse over you. They chose to stay with them over you. So, yeah. Yeah. And so you say, you know what, I'm just going to move forward and, and break the cycle and go be the best parent I can be to my own. And so I see that you have moved forward. This is past energy that is behind you. Okay. You are constantly doing the work on yourself, but you are a great parent. Okay. You and your child or children, if you have more than one, are very close knit. You're very loving, supporting, caring, nurturing. Not saying that you pin roses on your child. When they need discipline or honesty, you give it to them. But other than that, you are doing your job as a parent at this time. Okay. So that's simply beautiful. There are so many people who choose to carry on, and you know how they say hurt people hurt people. They choose to keep that generational cycle going on and not change anything. But you have chosen to let it all go. We have the Knight of Swords here, and so you have chosen to be daring and ambitious on your journey. Very daring and ambitious and very strong. Okay. Many people stand in cathedrals on particular days of the week or times of the year, and they shout and scream, to worship or practice their belief system. But when it's time to really stand up, when it's time to stand up and you're not inside of a cathedral, when you're not inside or circulated with the congregation, when you're alone and on your own, and it's time to stand up, that's when you need to flex your faith. That's when you need to flex your belief system. Okay. All are welcome here. It does not matter what your belief system is. But that's when you need to flex your faith. And it looks like you have done that. You do believe in God. You do believe that there's a higher power always working for you. And even though you've had to fight this fight alone and you've impacted lots of terrible, harsh things, you did not let it change your faith or your belief system. You actually have done some reflection. You could have Libra placement somewhere in your chart. You've done a lot of reflection, a lot of thinking, and I'm hearing that you're still doing the healing work and you're going to continue to work on yourself, but you are restoring the balance in your life. You're putting things back into place. So very beautiful, very beautiful. You are nurturing yourself. You're being easy with yourself. You could be someone who's into counseling, okay? And when I say counseling, you could be getting some kind of, you could have like a life coach, or maybe you have some kind of therapist that you talk to, just to have someone to vent to, okay? Just to talk to about different things. So yeah, I'm picking up you're doing a lot of work on yourself, okay? So take what resonates, okay? Bits and pieces may resonate for you. I may say a word that's a synchronicity for you, okay? All right. And so we have the Two of Swords here. Yes, you're no longer, you're not in indecision. It is pretty clear of who you are and where you stand in your life. You're not confused. You are acknowledging, the great thing is, that can really help anyone who needs to overcome or heal from a situation. You're not in denial. You're taking accountability if you were responsible for anything that occurred in your life, but you're not running from the truth. Most often those who want to keep the generational curse going and not break the cycle, these are people who don't want to talk about it. They want you to sweep it under the rug. They want you to show up to these family events and kiki and pump fake with them and pretend like everything is rosy. But, you have chosen in the most healthiest way to not do that, to stand in your truth, talk about it, surrender it, and move forward. Okay. Because hurt people will hurt people, and when you don't seek help, it could be really not a positive thing. With the Knight of Cups here, you are communicating. There's a lot of communication. You're being very vocal about what has happened to you. That can be helping you as well. That's why I picked up, you could be maybe speaking to a therapist or a life coach, or there's someone that you talk to. It's like a well-being check, Spirit is saying, and that's helping you. The more you speak about your truth, what you experience, how it impacts you, and how you feel in this day and time. It's also assisting you in being the great parent that you are if you do have children, because I'm picking that up strong with the Father of Sticks, that you are very close knit. You're total opposite. Meaning the type of parent you are, if anyone was to question your child, or if a fly was on the wall in your home, they would see that you're total opposite of your upbringing. The changes that you have made are just, congratulations, are very beautiful. Very beautiful. You're mindful of what you say and how you speak around your children. The things you endure. You're not someone sitting up telling your kids, your auntie did this to me. You did, you're not trying to implant any negative energy, any feelings or that your child may have about the family that they don't see. they will have them feelings on their own. They will, that, you're not encouraging any negative opinion about maybe their grandmother is not in their life because their grandmother was, unfit and allowed you to go through some mistreatment and some mishandling. I'll say it like that. Someone was handsy with you several times throughout your life. And yeah, but you're not taking this and throwing it into your child's face. You're choosing to let your children be children and develop their own ideas and feelings about life and whoever they are connected to. And that's positive because many, I have seen this myself. People sit up and will share the dirty laundry with the children, with their offspring. And then the children will grow up and have some kind of animosity or anger. Let the children develop their own feelings. If they ask you why is it that we can't see grandma or grandpa, or why is it we can't see our cousins or aunties, then you let them know if they are of age. But I'm speaking of someone sitting around. I have actually seen people sit around and constantly replay all of the dirty laundry and negative things they've been through, and they're telling it to their child, and the child grow up with this anger and animosity and be mad at the world. And but it's like you're not involving your children in that. You're choosing to get your self-help and make sure that you're nourishing, protecting, and providing, and having a close relationship with your own children or child, however many you have. Some of you may have one, some of you may have three or four children, but you're doing a wonderful job providing and being a parental figure without allowing these things to intercept your ability. Okay. So that is just simply beautiful. With the Queen of Swords here, you could have Taurus placement somewhere in your chart. But the Queen of Swords is someone who's been there, done that, and no nonsense. So this is your energy here. You're nothing to mess with. You're nobody's fool. You're not naive or gullible, but you're not bitter either. Okay. No one can call you arrogant. No one can say that you're bitter. You're just nobody's fool. And so you know what the rule is. When people can't control you, when you're not predictable, it becomes a problem. And so people of the past that you're not dealing with, they could miss that. You're unpredictable now. They wish that they could have control over you. Maybe in the past, when you were connected to these people that you no longer deal with, who judged you and were inappropriate with you and didn't protect you, all these things, and accusing you of things that were false. They could be very angry that you moved on, that you are successful, you're a great parent, but as well as they don't have control. There's something here about someone wanting to control you, wanting to be the boss of you. It's something about if they have control over you, it helps. It helps facilitate their story. It helps keep their narrative astray. So this parental figure or someone in your bloodline, I'm picking up family here, may be trying to slander your character or have been telling some kind of stories or lies, maybe trying to get sympathy or empathy out of people around them. This could be I don't know, for money, a place to live, guilt trip, maybe they want to borrow money from them. This could be all kind of things. This could be someone looking for people to feel sorry for them, and so they have been going around. Maybe people are asking about you. Where is your child? Where is your son? Where is your daughter? Where are your grandkids? And they could be staring some kind of lies and narrative. This person could also have tried to send people to you or towards you. This could be to your home, to your job. They could also have tried to have people reach out, maybe call you, communicate with you, but they know that they are not welcome, Spirit is saying, and they know why. They're putting on a facade, they're pretending, and they're pulling people in, trying to incorporate people. They may even use a small child like a niece or a nephew. Call Uncle so-and-so, he always liked you. Call him and see if he answers his phone, that kind of energy. But Spirit is saying that it is okay. You're not going to be loved any less to keep these ties severed. Even if they try to use a small child to pull on your heart chakra to see will you open the door and give them access, because there's something about this energy needs to stay where it is. You have chosen not with malice or hatred to love them from a distance, and you have a right to do so. You're not going to be loved any less by the divine whenever you choose to cut off any unhealthy person, place, or thing. Okay, we all are being watched and accounted for, and maybe someone tried to make you think that in the past, or that's your family. Ooh, you should, the Bible. No, 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 no. Anything that does not serve you for your highest good, you have a right to disconnect from it. Okay. All right. So, yes. So, like the magician, people see you as a magician. People are trying to figure you out. But these people who are trying to figure you out, Spirit is saying they really need to figure themselves out. They really need to take their attention off of you and figure themselves out. They're wasting time and energy that they can be spending on themselves. They really should let bygones be bygones, but it doesn't matter because what is for you will never pass you by, and that applies, to all of us. What is written in the stars and meant for you, collective, no one can destroy or take from you unless you choose to surrender your power. Okay. So you're not playing the old games that maybe you used to play. You're unpredictable at this point. You stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready. Okay. Maybe you were someone, who experienced a lot of financial hardships. Maybe now you're into saving. Maybe you have a little nest egg. That's a good example for some of you. Okay. Maybe you were likely to confide in the wrong people. Now, hey, I'll either get a journal or take it to God. You don't even need to incorporate people outside of you. Because one thing's for sure and two's for certain, no matter who you are, a person will guarantee you, and it doesn't matter whether you're sad, depressed, lost your job, loss of a loved one, doesn't matter what's going on in your life. Whenever you choose to tell anybody any of your business, collective, doesn't matter who you are or who they are to you, they will eventually do what? Try to use information against you, throw it in your face, or twist it. They're either going to twist it or use it later, when I say against you, to throw in your face to hurt you. So you have learned to confide and trust God or get you a journal. So you could be someone, I'm seeing someone doing a lot of writing who does a lot of journaling. You may do you a couple of burning bowl rituals after you do your writing, which is pretty good also, very therapeutic. But either way, you've learned to move different. You fight smarter, not harder. And this has people rattled. They're a little shaky, baby. They're very rattled, baby, out this time. They don't know what to do with themselves. But that has nothing to do with you. Continue to stay grounded. Continue to stay centered. You owe no one anything. You owe it to yourself to restore your balance, your love, and your creativity. All that creativity and skill and talent that you have that people around you were aware of. There's something about you that they always knew that you would do something special. They always knew you would do something great. They always knew you had some kind of gift that was one of a kind. They knew that you had innate abilities stored within you, but they just didn't know when you would rise. They knew you would stand, but they didn't know when. They didn't know how. They didn't know where, but they knew it would happen. And right now they're a little shaky, baby. You're causing a whole lot of disturbance. You're in people's mind. You're in their hearts. You're the topic of discussion. You're the conversation online. You're the conversation on the telephone. They're probably chatting about you in the emails and the DM. People at work having conversations with strangers who don't even know you. You are the valuable one. It turns out the one who has been misused, abused, falsely accused, the one who has been just mistreated, the black sheep of the family, the one who was assumed to never, ever, 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 ever make any progresses or changes in their life. You could have also experienced favoritism, a lot of favoritism. Maybe your parental figure had favoritism between who they loved more, who they liked more. Maybe they took up for maybe a sister or a brother, or were likely to hear them out. Maybe they made you feel that way. They always sided with one particular person. I'm also picking up on a parental figure who deliberately always took the opposing side of you. If anything you experienced, whether this was with the family, your relationship, in school as a child, a friend, they would always say, you're the problem collective. This was done deliberately. This was to intentionally make you feel some kind of way about yourself, because they always knew that you were that bright shining star, excuse me. Yeah, maybe you need to get you some shite, as I say shite. Maybe you need to get you some shungite. Okay, maybe you need to get you some shungite. Okay. Yeah, so either way, maybe you need to get you some crystals, okay? But either way, they always knew you were a bright, shining star. They always knew you had this ability, these gifts, but they just never knew when you would show them or express them. And this could be anything: singing, dancing, any kind of skill you have. You do hair, you cut hair, home improvement, you can draw, you can paint, you could be a writer. Maybe you know how to write music. You can play several, you can be multifaceted when it comes to instruments. Maybe you play the piano, the saxophone, the trombone, the drums. You do it all. Okay. Maybe you're a great swimmer, an athlete. Maybe you have that model physique. You're a beautiful person. You're tall and statuous. It's never too late to be great. So, whatever it is that you are desiring, if you're not working on these gifts, I just want to encourage you to get started. You're never too old, and it's never too late. Throw that mindset out the window. You're never too old, and it's never too late to be great. If it's anything you want to do when you're watching this video, go for it. You don't need nobody's permission. No one is going to root for you more than you. Get started, go for it. I don't care if you say, "Oh, I'm gonna look silly." Well, go on and look silly. It's better to have tried than not try at all. Who wants to perish from planet Earth with the shoulda, woulda, coulda theory? Who wants to perish with that? I wonder what I would have been like if I would have gave that a shot. I wonder where would I be if I would have believed in myself. You might as well give it a shot. You might as well give it a try. Go ahead and be the evidence of what has not been seen. Not to prove a point, not to compare, not to compete, because these are gifts and skills I'm picking up. You have several ideas that you would like to embark on. Go ahead. You don't need permission. Get started. Use whatever you have right now and get started. Because I'm picking up whatever it is, you have everything you need. You can use it as an affirmation. I have everything I need. I am grateful. I have everything I need. Yeah, so they didn't know. They didn't know. You could be a teacher. Maybe, you have moved on and you've worked on yourself so much that you're teaching and helping others. Maybe you went to school. Maybe you teach in a school. Okay. Maybe you work with children or teenagers, or maybe you're not a certified teacher. You're a natural born self-teach. You're a teacher who's self-taught. Okay. You could teach in your community, in your church. You can have an organization where you help young teens. Okay. You help the youth, or you help other parents or other people overcome any kind of negative impact. Okay. You could work at a shelter. I'm picking up someone who goes to a shelter and talk to people and help people. This could be many things, or this could be a desire of yours. Maybe you want to start some kind of organization where you can gather with other people who need healing, and maybe you would like to encourage and uplift people. That is not a dumb idea. It's a smart idea. Go ahead and get started. Okay. Everyone is walking around with computers in their pockets now. Who would have known that, from Macintosh, from back in the day, from when Yahoo was popular, that we'd be walking around with computers in our pocket. Who would have known? Is that Macintosh, the computer? Which one was that with the clear backing? Well, that's a very old computer. Okay. F1, F2, F. you know, so hey, there are no limits. We are limitless beings. So if there is something and you are thinking about it, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Don't let nothing stop you. But you are shocking people. You're unpredictable and they want to know, what are you going to do next? People are looking and they are studying you like you are a science project. What is the collective going to do next? Now, you know, you could be someone who maybe you're working a 9 to 5, and maybe you have a job, okay, and maybe you receive a promotion on your job and you end up being manager or CEO, or this could be many things, okay. This doesn't have to be you doing tarot or divination, or or you talk. This could be many things, okay. But whatever it is you are doing, you are overcoming. You have done a lot of healing and you're going to keep doing it. I see someone you're enjoying your healing journey and you are being consistent with the work. You're being consistent with the work. You're not allowing anything to get in your way. You're not allowing anything to get in your way. This is just so beautiful. This is beautiful. And there are many who have crossed you, who have done foul things to you, and they are nervous and they're shaky, baby, because they are expecting you to retaliate, but you're not, because that's not who you are. That's not who you are. You know better. You understand what you put out returns. And if you trust and know a higher power is working for you and your spirit team is working for you, you do not have to lift a finger. You know this. You get that. And so there are people who are shaky and nervous who have misjudged you, as well as stole from you, crossed you, mishandled you. And it's like they're expecting something. They're like, dun, 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 dun. They feel like something's coming for them. And you're not about to do anything. You're not thinking about these people in a negative sense. You're not thinking about retaliating on anyone for falsely accusing you. You're not thinking about sitting up wishing somebody harm or hurt or I don't like them. I don't even see you having those kind of conversations. You're not in the mindset that these people are in, but they're anxious and nervous because the change and the shift you have made, it shows that you are unpredictable and you're headed towards progress. And if someone has been telling everyone that you're a bum, you're lazy, you're never going to be nothing, and you're shining bright like the diamond you are, well, you're making them have to recant their story. That's also making people a little shaky, baby. You're making things a little shaky. You got people nervous and anxious, okay? So Spirit is just saying for you to continue to remain optimistic and only engage and focus on positive energy, collective. Trust and know that even though you are overcoming these karmics, the negative energy from past experiences, that sometimes on our journey, that same energy may try to show itself in a different body with a different face, but the same energy. But you will be fully equipped to recognize and identify. You identify that thing and remove yourself. You recognize someone is not for you, or wait a minute, this feels familiar. Like if you're dating someone and you're like, well, you remind me of somebody I dated back in the. Let me remove myself. Let me back it up. Let me remove myself. So I see you doing that moving forward. So Spirit is saying, just be consistent with identifying what it is. There's no need to have any confrontation with anyone. We are accustomed, to thinking and feeling that the loudest one is the powerful one, but the loudest one is always the weakest person. And they say it's the quiet one that you should watch. Yeah, because those the one who are they're sitting on the knowledge, they're sitting on the wisdom, they're sitting on their intelligence and the moves they're going to make. They're not trying to put on a persona or distribute something false. So Spirit is just saying, moving forward, when you identify someone or something does not resonate with you, collective, just simply remove yourself. Uh, it is very simple. Your spirit guides are saying is not as hard and as strenuous as people assume. When you mention the word healing or you mention the word change, it's like people clutch their pearls and get nervous or anxious, and it's not that deep. It's not hard. When it comes to you got to feel to heal. When it comes to any kind of progress in your life, you move at your own pace. It's not a race. We're not racing here. It's a marathon. We're going to keep passing the torch, and we're going to run another lap, and we're going to pass the torch, and we're going to go over here and learn something and do a different speed or do a different route. There's nothing to be anxious or nervous about. So they're saying continue to be easy and gentle with yourself. Okay. But trust and know there will be people who may try to test you moving forward. Don't become furious or anxious. Just simply remove yourself from the equation and leave that person, place, or thing with their own energy. Okay. And so we have the Two of Pentacles. And as you see, the lady is holding a beautiful baby here. And as I was just speaking, that you are a very good parent, very nurturing, very responsible. You could be someone who always has their child with them. Maybe people say this to you, every time I see you, you got your child with you. And that's what I'm supposed to do. Why is it a problem to you? People say the stupidest ish. They say, that's really a compliment, but to say that means that this person feels like you should not have your child with you. You're not their parent. This isn't your responsibility. Why are you concerned? Why are you concerned? Every time I see you, you got your child with you. That's what you're supposed to do. What's wrong with that? People say the darndest things, but we live different lives. And, I did a reading on that, or I think, was it a speech on that? Something like that. Anyway, it's like a motivational conversation, that you can just be still and be quiet. And people reveal themselves just through how they talk and communicate. You don't even have to engage. Just listen to a person talk for 5 to 10 seconds. You can find out some things. Maybe 1 to 2 seconds. The first thing out their mouth might guide you. You like guide you like, okay, they over here in this pile. Okay, they over here in that pile. But like, come on, people reveal a lot by the things they say, and some things they say just like it's not even worth responding to. Do you and live your life. Do you. We are adults and you have free will, you know. And it looks like these people thought just because you was raised a certain way that you were going to stay in the shadow, that you were going to stay and on the dark side, that you were never going to see the cup half full. So it looks like they thought wrong. They thought wrong, while you were possibly, resting, rejuvenating, maybe you were MIA with this hangman energy. No, you were fine tuning your spiritual connection with source, with the creator. That's what you were doing. You were fine tuning, taking time for yourself. And there could have been people, chatty patties. I don't know where they been. They must be doing this. They must be over there with a man, or they probably got a woman. No, they're minding their business, which is what you should be doing. People find these kind of things to be not possible. People find these kind of things to be not possible with the magician. And the reason they find healing and progress and success and celibacy and sobriety to be not possible, all these things that I'm naming, being a millionaire, becoming wealthy overnight, happiness, whatever, they find it not possible because they believe it's not possible for themselves. So whenever, that's why people are mindful about who they share their information with, especially your next move. You should never talk to people about your romantic life, your finances, or your next move. But people are very mindful about sharing those things, because you don't need anyone tainting your plans, tainting your idea. You don't need anyone's thoughts on your plans. It's that serious, collective. You don't need another ninja's thoughts on your plans. Like, period. You just don't need their mind or they don't need to know what you're doing. They don't need to know you're going to the store to buy a loaf of bread and what aisle is in and what kind, is it on sale, and what's the expiration date. They don't need to know that. That's for you to know, not for them. These are people who don't believe in themselves, and be mindful. As while we're on that, Spirit is saying be mindful when you come across as you move forward, because you're going to come across different people. Not to say life is going to be bad or miserable, but part of learning and growing, you're going to experience different people. You come across someone who doesn't believe in themselves, run. Run. You come across somebody who's always negative, run. Run. hmm You better run. And don't look back. Don't look back. Yeah, so we have the chariot energy here, okay? And so this chariot energy is representing, possible travel, okay? Taking action, willpower, and determination. So Spirit wants you to stay in your willpower and stay determined, but do everything within a balance. There's no need for you to be stressed or worried. You are safe and protected. You are on a new timeline. I'm pretty sure you are aware of this, because there's been a lot of great changes that are happening inside of you and outside of you, collective, that you are experiencing. Okay, so keep it that way. Okay. Now, isn't it amazing, the amazing fact that the amazing fact that when you are not around certain people, you're happier. It's just like showing up to work and a certain coworker or manager don't show up and everybody have a good day. And every time this person is not working with y'all have a good day. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I find that to be so super duper amazing. That's a simple observation that people should take into accountability. Like, they should really like check that out. Like, dang, I went to work today and I didn't work with so and so. Well, I worked with so and today was quite stressful. Then you go the next day or maybe the next week, they switch the schedule up. Okay, so and so is not here, and guess what? We had a good time at work. Or the day, depending on what kind of work you do. Some work, you can chat and talk. Other work may require you to really focus. Maybe the time go faster. The energy at work is calmer. Maybe there's more laughter in the workplace. Those things count. So to start to acknowledge that, how you feel around different people, different environments you go in, start to take that in accountability of how you feel when you are in different environments, collective. That's very important. And when you are around different people, how they make you feel. Yeah, pay attention to that. Don't disregard it, because it's your inner niggle and wiggle trying to lead you and tell you something that is for your highest good, okay? And so we have the page of swords here, okay? The page of swords. Continue to be a student of yourself. Continue to be in the energy of learning yourself, that healing journey that you are on. Continue that. That is a beautiful, wonderful tribute to the process of your progress. So the next card we have here is the King of Pentacles here. So this is leadership, this is prosperity, and this is determination to maintain this prosperity, okay? Just like the Chariot energy is determination. So Spirit is confirming for you to stay determined. Live your life, okay? You don't have to be anxious or nervous about nothing. Stay calm, stay balanced. Do your meditation, your prayer, whatever you do that recalibrates your energy, but keep this determined energy about you. And if anyone wants to enter your life to try to make you change who you are, or someone has a problem with it, run, 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 run. And this could be something like a covert narcissist. You could be dating someone, and at the intro of getting to know someone, people wear masks, they pretend about who they are. A person could do something as small as make mockery or make fun and say, I'm just playing. You ain't mad, is you? Really, they're showing you that they have a problem with who you are. Don't take it lightly. Don't get into a massive argument or falling out with them. But pretty soon, that small comment of maybe mocking, "Oh, you meditate? That's corny." you know, I'm just using that as an example. Then before you know it, "Oh, you doing affirmations in your journaling? That's corny." Then before you know it, you find out this person is aggressive. They're verbally aggressive. Then you find out this person may be physically aggressive. Then you find out this person like to flip the switch every now and then. The elevator don't go all the way up. Be mindful, male or female. Men go through things as well. This is for male or female, gender is for in tarot, but be mindful of dating, whether it's romantic or friendship, meeting new people, collective, and them showing you the representative, everything going smooth and good for you in your life, and you just choosing to meet new people and allow new energy into your life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But don't allow people to play with you in your face or to disrespect you. When people show you who they are, believe them. You don't need to check them. Let them be who they are, but you remove yourself. Okay? Because we are often given signs and synchronicities when we meet people and we're getting to know who they are, and we brush it off. And you keep giving them a chance, day after month, after week, after year, and then you find out, you're on the phone like, I had no idea that they was crazy. Yeah. I had no idea that they were a little cray cray. I did not know. Well, girl, I told you. Remember, you told me he said this, and remember I told you he put cheese in the cereal. That kind of thing. So yeah, be mindful. Don't be oblivious. Don't brush off the obvious when you meet people, and don't allow the aesthetics. Because maybe somebody got beautiful eyes, male or female. They're pretty. They're handsome. They have a nice physique. Maybe they have they're hot and steamy in the bedroom. You love the sexual encounters. Don't allow a fleeting moment or the aesthetics of what somebody look like to have you puzzled and trapped in a situation that you've already experienced in your past. You've severed ties with these karmics of your past who have crossed you, in the wrong way, and you're healing from that. But don't allow someone new. Be mindful to come in your life and demonstrate that same energy. You done been there, done that. You through with that. You through with that. And so don't allow a sexual encounter, male or female, with somebody packing how good it is, a fleeting moment, a euphoria to get you trapped. You have to learn to master that and not allow your lower region to control your life. It is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing to mate, to have relations, but don't allow it to control you. Yes, I said it. I surprise me too all the time. I surprise me all the time. The next card we have here is the Eight of Wands. Okay. So this is the news that you can use with the Eight of Wands coming in to assist you for your highest good. Do not allow the aesthetics, the looks of a person. They fine, they handsome, they pretty. Oh, they do this, they do that. They make me giggle and wiggle. Well, they didn't stop making people giggle and wiggle. They're doing that because they're a professional at what they do. They didn't have plenty of practice. Like, come on now. Like, come on. What's new, pussycat? What's new? What's new? What's new? What's new? Don't allow that. I'm picking up on that energy, like somebody, everything good. You Gucci right here. You Gucci. You Gucci. And then you meeting someone. You're just living your life. And that person come in, say, baby, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Male or female, and you are mesmerized by the aesthetics, the looks of somebody or what they can do for you sexually, or something material, they got it going on. They have this, that. Well, no, you got it going on. And spirit wants you to keep everything within balance. Okay, what other card at? Within balance. It's out here twice. Balance. The scales, balance. Wants you to keep everything within balance. Don't allow nobody to make you a little shaky, baby. Don't let them make you shaky. No, you're the one that shake the room. You don't let nobody shake you. Keep your peace. I'm picking up you have peace. You have a peace of mind. You have peace right now. Keep that energy. Keep that energy. So the pentacles, look at this. So the Pentacles can keep coming. You got the Knight of Pentacles, and look at the Ace of Pentacles. Come on now. Come on now. Prosperity, opportunity, ambition. So they're not saying not to date. You can date and have fun, but you can be smart about it. Be wise. The first red flag, don't ignore it. Take it and run. Run. It ain't you, it's me. I gotta run. You get all this new stuff in your house. I'm seeing somebody buying a bunch of new furniture, and then you allow this hater in your life, and no, 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 no. Don't allow no one to put you where you've already come from. You've already been in the five. You did that a long, 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 long time ago. Mm-mm. 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 Let it be, I'm going to say this and let it be encouragement. You're not living your life to prove a point to anyone, but people watching. You know them karmas watching. They're waiting. They're waiting for you to fall. They're waiting for you to give up. Stay up, Kane. I just had to say it. Stay up. Stay up, Kane. They're waiting for you to give up. They're waiting. Let's see, will the collective come back running? We haven't seen them in years. Maybe they'll come back over here. Let that be your motivation to just be mindful. Not afraid, but just be mindful. You meet somebody in first conversation, they talking cray. Run! Quit waiting to have another conversation. Well, I don't think he that crazy. I don't know. We gonna talk. I think I'm gonna give him another chance. I don't think he that crazy. He might be kind of nice. I don't know. What you think I should do? I think I'm gonna go out with him one more time. I'm supposed to go to his house though this time. He told me come to his house. No, don't let him do it. The Eight of Swords, don't let them put you in a situation having you feel like stir confusion, like you just stuck. There's usually a fence of swords here enclosing a person, but this ain't even a fence. The swords are on the wall, yo. This is funny. It's usually enclosed, okay, with the swords, but these are on the wall, and this person standing there, they feel stuck. The Eight of Swords is feeling stuck. It's feeling helpless. And this person is standing there because the swords on the wall is making them feel stuck. You do not want nobody having you in that kind of zone. Ooh, baby. Mm-mm. 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 Don't let nobody have you in that. Don't let them do it. Because there's some people, you are attracting, some decent folk, which also, that light can also attract some folks that ain't got all their faculties together. This Nine of Swords here, this is the energy of worry and suffering. So, there could be people possibly looking at you as a meal ticket as well. And no matter what you have experienced, male or female, men and women, be mindful when you're dating. If someone's fishing for you like you're a meal ticket, I mean, that's just not appealing. That should pee you off by itself. That should irritate you, really. I don't care if you're a man and you say you do got it. That should irritate you. You should be bothered. You should be like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. But it depends on where you are. If you're just looking for a fleeting moment, then hey, ching ching. But I mean, like, just got to be mindful of who you entangle with. You got to be mindful. If you've been linked up with somebody who May have that possessive nature, you know. Mm-mm. Like I just said, you have all these nice things in your house. I'm seeing somebody buy some furniture. Maybe you're about to remodel your home or buy new furniture. I'm seeing someone buy furniture, like upgrade, and maybe the person you dating get a little jelly. Yeah, people get jealous. Yes, of furniture. Yes, it happens. You a bachelor, bachelorette, and you got it going on. You everything looking good. You good. They mad because they got a piece of you, but they want all of you. You know, and they looking like, hmm. Yeah, I see them on Friday night, but I want them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. You know, person might turn a little cray cray on you. You be mad at you. Mm-mm. I'm seeing somebody trying to destroy somebody's furniture, tear their crib up. Mm-mm. You know, because they see you as a catch. You know, they see, but they want you the way they want you. As you know, like I was talking about at the beginning of the read, control. Folks like to have control over you, and when people get to know you, some people, not all, but there's a large portion of people. You know, when we meet each other, we showing the representatives. None of us will show our true selves. It take a while because we don't. You don't trust each other. Number one, it ain't all about you always lying. We just don't trust each other. We're strangers. We're strangers. We don't know who's who, you know, but when a person, you know, get to know you and they find out they can't have their way with you, ooh, folks get mad. You know, they get mad. You don't want to be their fool. You don't want to be a fool for me. You don't want to take a leap of faith with me. Folks get mad. We'll switch up on you, okay? So maybe you need to be mindful also, even for guys. I'm being told if you a guy, this go for you too. This ain't just for women. Be careful who you bringing back to your home where you sleep and lay your head. And I don't care if you say I got many homes. Be careful of taking anybody to any of your homes. Okay, so be careful. Be careful, collective. Be mindful. Be smart. Be smart. Get a room. Don't take them home. Get a room. Get a room. Okay, because there's something here about a jealous energy. Okay, and even if you haven't known a person a long time, a person who's an opportunist, a person, you don't need nobody creating that tower moment, looking at you, puzzling. Yeah, he got a nice crib, but how can I make it mine? You know, yeah, she got it going on, but how can I make it all mine? I want control. You know, and that's what it is. People meet you and they see that you're a good catch and everything is nice and beautiful. Everything is nice and beautiful, but then it turned into how can I control it myself and make it mine? That's the problem with folks, you know. You really gotta, you know, there's nothing wrong with accepting or receiving gifts. Let me get that straight. Okay, we loves the munyon. Munyons is my friend. Munyons always flows to my hand. I loves the munyons. Munyons does nothing to me. Okay, it's wonderful to receive gifts. It's wonderful to give and help each other out. You know, whatever. That's beautiful. But what somebody else has earned, worked for, built, created, the reality is that's theirs. That is theirs. And they may give you a little sprinkle every now and then, but you have to really create your own. I'm going to say it again. Whatever somebody worked for, build, create, that's theirs. They may give you a little sprinkle. You know, they may give you a nice little sprinkle, you know, throw you some stacks, whatever, but you have to create your own. But the problem is, folks will get to know somebody, male or female. Ooh, this is a nice meal ticket. He got so and so. She got so and so. Woo, 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 woo. Then they want to take control. Then it goes to how can I control this? How can I be a part of this? How can I be the main one? I want to be the main one because I want to control. I want to control the money. I want to control the crib. I want to front with their stuff that they earned and they work for. I want to get in their car and drive it around like it's mine. You know, I want to call me some company over here. Come on through. Yeah, this is my house. And you ain't worked for nothing there. It belongs to somebody else. So be careful. This meal ticket energy is here. Somebody is eyeing you. And this is someone who who wants control. Now that control energy you dealt with in your past from karmics in your family who wanted to control you, and are angry because they don't have control or access to you. And I just said it could pop up in the future. So Spirit is saying that when dating, just be careful. Be careful. Because folks get to know you, and you show, and it's sad. It's really sad, but ain't nothing, it is what it is, collective. I ain't gonna say nothing we can do about it, because yeah, don't take them to your house. I'm telling you, this is for somebody. Don't take them to your house. They're gonna want to control it. They're gonna want to control it. They're gonna want to control it. Spirit is saying, but you have to protect it. You have to protect it. People be in different situations. You never know what a person is going through. This is not about judging or being arrogant. This is just the message. This is a channel message, and this is somebody's true story. You probably experienced this already, or you already know this type of stuff go down. This is protecting energy, feeling like you have to protect. Spirit saying protect what you have. Protect your peace, protect your home, protect your family, and protect anything you work for. You can show people stuff, and it doesn't have to be that you're trying to show off or you're arrogant. If you're an entrepreneur and say you own 10 houses, 3 car washes, 4 restaurants. This example. So you can't help that every time you out on a date, your phone is because you're a business person. You have a lot of business going on, legal, not illegal. Eventually, if you're out on a date with somebody, and after you have date number 1, date number 2, eventually this person is going to see some form, some portion or part of your life. They're going to see it. So Spirit is saying, be careful who you mix with. Be careful who you hook up with. Maybe you can find a way to make sure you date like-minded energy. Maybe other people who are in your tax bracket. I'm going to come out and say it. You don't need anybody looking at you like you are the golden nugget and this kind of energy. You don't need that. You don't need that. Okay, I hear somebody saying them stamps getting cut off. Oh, wait. I just heard that. Okay, maybe y'all going off what y'all hear in the media. Okay, but I just heard that. That's part of the message. Yeah, folks get desperate. Not just that. Desperate people do desperate things, and you don't need nobody doing this. You know what this means. You know what this means. And then people talk about what they see, what you show them. Trust and believe whatever. If you on a date and maybe you gotta go and stop at your office, and they don't even know where your office at. You might have a safe in there. You might got a safe in your office. Don't make no faces while you're watching this, because they're going to know you got one. Keep poker face. But anyway, that's for somebody. You're around somebody. Keep a straight face. But look, at some portion, they're going to see certain parts of your life. Spirit is just saying, be careful. And try to, if you are dating, you're entitled to date. You're supposed to meet people and live your life and have fun. You ain't create all this abundance and all this healing and work on yourself to do nothing. Try to mash with people who are in your tax bracket or on your vibration. Like, period. You're a doctor, go find some other doctor's date. You're a lawyer, go find some other lawyer to date. That's the symbology, that's the analogy I gotta use. Find somebody that's in the pot where you at, Yeah. You spending thousands, make somebody trust they be spending thousands too. Make sure they have a lifestyle not exactly like yours, but because I'm picking up on wealthy energy here. Somebody's dating somebody that's very wealthy, very successful, and it's increasing for you and it's going well, but you gotta be mindful, don't be going for everyone, the aesthetics, back to that aesthetics. In this thirst energy, there could be someone who uses their aesthetics, to thirst trap, to, just whew, take these things that I have shared to keep this wheel oiled, whew, and moving for you, baby. The Wheel of Fortune, folks looking at people's fortune, pocket watching. And I'm just picking up on a very wealthy energy. You live in a gated community, okay? You got a mansion, okay, maybe they don't have a mansion, but they got a condo. That type of energy, okay? That type of energy, okay? You can't deal with people who feel like they don't have nothing to live for. You know, this is like people pulling. This is like just mm, mm. This is like people pulling up in places. How can I say this? In fancy vehicles around thirsty people and flashing fancy things. I'm just gonna say it like that. And y'all get where I'm coming. This is like people pulling up in certain areas in fancy vehicles, flashing fancy things, and they thirsty. Now, how many times you think you can keep pulling up around the thirsty people and you got all the drinks? They want something to drink too. Let me move on. Confirmation. You see the snakes. You see it. The Seven of Swords is many options, but being mindful of not partaking in illusional options or options that are uncertain, and being mindful of moving too quickly, that you end up choosing something that is not for you. This is confirmation. And you could be you could be a sweetheart. You could be a male or a female, a very kind person. You could be like, I share with people. Look, it don't even matter. You can be nice. You can take somebody and say, I'm going to buy you a home. Guess what? They're going to come and say, oh, I want your pillows off your couch too. That kind of energy. Folks are ungrateful, baby. You got to protect. Make sure you protect what you have built, okay? Tower energy. Make sure you avoid allowing people in your life who wants to control and create a tower moment. That's what that means. This doesn't mean something bad is going to happen. Avoid people who give you the signs and synchronicities, because Spirit is saying it's right in front of you that they want to create a tower moment. These are people who feel like they have nothing to live for. These are people who are constantly negative. Their words don't match their actions. You know what it is. You know what it is. You're very smart. You see the snakes moving too fast. Don't allow the looks of something on the outside to have you so mesmerized that when the snakes come out, you don't know which end it came from. Care how good it looks, don't mean that it's good for you, baby. Okay? Yeah. I didn't know the reading was going there, but it's so strong that you've done all this healing work and you are working on success, or you're headed here. You're at the beginning of it, or you're headed here, and just telling you just to be mindful. And it don't matter where you are at, financially, just be mindful, because unhappy people are just that. They're unhappy people and they're looking for somebody to latch on to, darling. Remember, I just said, yes, they may be good in the bedroom, but hold on a minute now. Don't let that have you mesmerized. Folks like try to set people up, especially thirsty people. People who don't want to get out and get it on their own. They rather have what somebody else work for. Okay, now I'm hearing people watch too many Tubi movies. Oh boy, maybe you like watching Tubi movies. Maybe you like watching them. That's okay. You watch what you want to watch. Tubi has some good movies on it. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. We have the Two of Wands. Okay. Stay inspired. Keep your peace. But make sure you enforce those boundaries. Spirit is saying it's not hard. It's very simple. With repetition and momentum, it gets easier and easier. It gets easier and easier, collective. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're very smart. You have a lot of mental power. And you know how to identify these people. So maybe you are going to start to take that into account. You could be very handsome and beautiful yourself, and you attract nice looking folks, okay? But you may start, wait a minute, let me not talk to everybody because, I ain't saying you talk to everybody, wait a minute, I don't care how good it look. Let me pass that back. Wait a minute. Yeah. You should never be anxious or nervous. You should be calm within your spirit, calm within your gut. You should never be anxious or nervous. You think that's the butterfly feeling. You think that's telling you that's it. No, that is a signal to pipe down. Pause for a minute. You think them, oh, I'm getting butterflies. I knew he was the one, she was. No, 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 no. That means calm down, be still. That energy should not be present, especially with new people. I'm not going to say that. Okay, so be mindful. Ten of Pentacles, fulfillment, good fortune. It is possible to have harmony in a healthy relationship, but just be mindful how you move. Be wise. Be honest, be straightforward, be wise. And don't promise anybody anything that you know you don't want. If you want a relationship, yeah, okay, we're dating for a relationship. If you don't, I don't want a relationship. You still want to mess with me? It's your risk. Be honest. It's something about that, so don't nobody get upset and have a reason to, make you feel like you got to protect some ish because they're angry because they want to control you. It's all about control. Folks want to control, and when people don't have control, they get angry. This could be in your place of work. People can't control you, they get angry. In a relationship, they get angry. In the family, they get angry. Friendships, they get angry. They can't control. Folks be wanting control over other people's lives. And that's just bananas. You need to control nothing but yourself. Mm-hmm. So this concludes the read. I trust and hope it assists you for your highest good. Later.